Alhamdulillah. So our next program here on our Saturday morning lineup is Why Be an Entrepreneur? Join us on Saturdays right here on AM 360's Zoom platform, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 Central, for our class, Why Be an Entrepreneur, where we'll explore the benefits and challenges of entrepreneurship and how to establish successful businesses. Our presenter is Imam Tariq Abdul Mu'min, and he is the founder of Entrepreneurs in Development. Assalamu alaikum to you, Imam
This
Tariq.
call will be recorded.
Walaikum assalam, everyone. We pray that you all are doing well, and we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Can you
And
increase your volume just a tiny
okay, I
bit?
thought I did here. What about now? Is that good?
That's better.
Okay, then. Again, assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining us for another presentation of why be an entrepreneur. Before I get started on the presentation, maybe you all uh, knew, and I'm putting it in the past tense, Imam Yusuf Abdullah from the Masjid Al Islam in Nashville, Tennessee. He recently passed, and that's from the Masjid in Tennessee. I'm not looking at the day of the funeral, but I think it's maybe Sunday or Monday. If you need to find out, you can reach out to me, and I can get that to you. But I just wanted to bring that to you all's attention because his son Imam Hamid posted it, and I did reach out to him with the prayers and condolences.
This call
So,
is no longer being recorded.
we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you're joining us for the first time, this is
This call will
interaction.
be recorded.
We do allow comments and everything, but we want to ask you to be stick to the topic of the presentations and be brief as possible. And also, before we go on, I want to make mention again. Next Saturday, that's next Saturday, the 31st, I would not be presenting due to other obligations. We have our sectional imams meeting next Saturday. So we'll be returning, God willing, the first Saturday of next month. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And share. Okay, is the screen sharing?
Not yet.
Okay. I thought I again had everything situated here. I ran through it, and I guess let me pull this back up here.
While you're pulling up your screen, I pray everyone is keeping warm in the northern region. We have bitter cold coming through here. I don't know how far south it's reached at this point, but we pray everyone is keeping warm and being mindful when we go out to bundle up. It's visible now.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, as we do here, we go through a. This is still not appropriate here. That shouldn't be. Okay, that's where I want to be. Okay, again, thank you all for being patient with me on this right here. I'll try to have everything already in order prior to us beginning. And again, we want to thank you for joining us. And we are the Entrepreneurs and Development Institute. And I was inspired to put this piece together based on something I read in or heard Imam Tariq Muhammad say, and also in connection with his father. May Allah peace, Allah forgiveness and mercy be with both of them and have them in the best place in paradise. So Imam said, as you see here on this flyer we have up on this image, he said, I think as Muslims we should just shout when someone says, come, let us make an effort to improve our business circumstances. We should just shout, hey, let's go, let's go. We should be ready to go. So this organization is organized to make sure that the enthusiasm for business growth stays with us, to make sure as many people as possible are involved with business in our neighborhoods. We're promoting and keeping things happening. He stated, we quote Imam, he said, our business people have to see our roots in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's call to financial responsibility, to business development, to some economic plan. We can't deny him that credit that he has earned. He was the one who excited us, the African American people. It was an excitement to have a bigger appetite for not only wealth, but also for bigger responsibility that gives bigger respect to a people. We have come, we have to grow financially. Our community cannot support our mosque, our religious and spiritual needs if we don't have money. We have to have some money. I'm not going to be stupid sitting around here waiting on some rich Arab, some rich Iranian to give us some money. I don't want that. My self-respect don't want that. So the best way is the way that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us do for ourselves. We have come to a point in our growth as Muslim, as a Muslim community, pardon me, in America, that we don't create finances for ourselves and our children. We can't and won't grow anymore as an productive, as an impactful and productive Muslim community in America. You just can't have Islamic life in your heart and in your spirit. Islamic life has to be expressed in Islamic structures. Islamic life has to be expressed in halal businesses. Islamic life has to be expressed in homes owned by Muslims. In fact, Muslims, um, yes, in productive land owned by Muslims, in transportation for shipping products owned by Muslims, in cars, in buses, in trucks and trains, and airplanes owned by Muslims. The God who gave me my material flesh through which I express myself. And also, you all, in your sense, want us to have schools and massages of quality and beauty, factories, financial institutions, financing our schools, financing our people who have automobiles, who have insurance, and not have to go outside of themselves to get insurance. Why do we have those building structures? So that our spirit will be in many instruments to express itself. And this is a recent addition that I did yesterday of, of my continual research and studies to always improve this for us. And these two here, uh, of two flyers I recently on social media, go back, and it says, we want to, the one on the left, we start there. We want to see New Africa. We want to see New Africa Islamic theaters. We want to see skyscrapers go up and we build them. We want to see shipping lines and trucking lines and transportation lines all over our neighborhoods. We want to walk outside of our house and we want to look at the products in the construction and industry of our people, Muslim African Americans in New Africa, on these shores that are rightful inheritance as the creation of God. God has created for us for this. This is our natural inheritance, and we will accept nothing left. Less. Pardon me. Now, the one on the right, we don't have in the history of Prophet Muhammad where Prophet Muhammad was going about checking on people. We don't have in the history of Prophet Muhammad where Prophet Muhammad was trying to get all of the business in his control. We don't have in the history of Prophet Muhammad where Prophet Muhammad was trying to ascertain what was going on in all locales and all the towns so he could have control over the life of the people. We only have in the history of Prophet Muhammad where he gave advice when it was asked outside of the regular job of his prophethood when he was inspired to speak to the people. When he was not inspired to speak to the people, he was just like a common neighbor. He worked with his wife in the house. He did chores. He went to the market to get grocery for the household. He was seen carrying on the common life of everybody else. How could he do that and be the man that he was, the leader that he was? Because he was sent to bring about a truly participatory democracy where people accept responsibility for their own circumstances. Apply the light of God, apply the wisdom of God, and don't expect the man who gave it to you from the mouth of God to be right there with you by your side watching you. And it's the conclusion. We cannot have a healthy community or a healthy morale, good morale for our community if we don't have a showing in business growth or business development. It's a must. It will be heavy on our soul. It will be taxing our spirit if we don't have a business showing in our community. Business is a must. You have to produce for yourself, take care of your own. That means your own neighborhood too. We need people of like interests, especially business interests. If you know each other and you know something is happening in your area by persons of good character, and they are contributing to the business growth of our association of members, there are people in their locale should try to tie up with them if they have like minds and like interests tied together. And we do need organizations that organize just to make sure that the enthusiasm for business growth stays with us and to make sure as many people as possible are involved with business of our neighborhood. We need organizations, just for business people, to promote and keep things happening. And that's where we got our slogan from, our about us slogan. Anyone have any comments on that? Please do so while we prepare this next slide. Uh, Okay, now we want to go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get myself off of mute.
Maybe the
We
person.
we hear you. We hear you loud and clear if you had a question or comment.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my question, brother Imam Tariq, had you got my information I gave you concerning advertising on the program? I think you got it, but you didn't get back to me.
You sent me. Did you sent something to me?
Yes, we spoke about the rain.
Oh well, this is not the time for that, brother.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Had you gotten my information because you hadn't gotten back to me.
Okay, I can't. I think I did, but
Uh,
why don't we pick this up? You have my telephone number. That's the reason I expressed to you by way of text to give me a call.
yeah,
I need. I need
I call you, I text
my
you.
brother. My brother.
I
Follow up
call you
with
and
me.
text you.
Okay, but my brother, please yield to me just briefly here. Okay, call me after this program, anytime after this program, and we can have a further discussion on that. Okay.
Okay, I'll call you soon as after the program. I'll call
All
you.
right. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. All right.
And one other thing I wanted to say, Brother Imam, you read this to us every week when you come on. And I'm wondering, people don't seem to be responding to you concerning what the Imam said about business. We can't go any further without having some economic business, you know? So it don't seem like the people are really responding to you in the Imam.
Well, you know, we all respond in our own individual way. And the thing is that's impressive to me. They're still here. They're still here with us. So that means they are responding because they're still here. And so let's look at that side of it, okay? And I'm grateful for that because if they was not if they wasn't getting anything from what we are doing, they wouldn't still be here with us. Yeah, so it's just and I pray you can see where I'm coming from on that. I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank
Alhamdulillah.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we want to go back and we're looking at sort of to Muzalimil. And yes, we can never not look at any of the verses in the Quran and think that's enough. Because each time, and I'm speaking for me personally now, that I read something continuously over and over and over again, it reveals something that I didn't get before. So I thought I would go with this one. I almost went with this one when we started all, from the beginning again to what yeah, three presentations ago, I think. But anyway, we're coming from sort of to Muzalimil, and historically speaking, um, this was uh, the third thing that came down to Prophet Muhammad, praise and peace of God be upon him, uh, after sort of the Iqra and then Kalam, the pen, and then chronological order, this started to come down to him. And God tell him, call out to him, oh who ya ayyuhal muzalmil. And we can see the English translation there say, oh you or oh thou, because that's old English here, who's folded up in garments. Literally speaking, historically speaking, they say he wrapped himself up in a blanket. But once you do the research into this word, which is only used once in the Quran, and it's used as a noun here when you hear this mean with the dhamma above it, that make it the noun form. Muzalmilu. Uh, it is talking about someone who was spiritually, morally balanced and had reached human perfection. And God gave him the divine responsibility to carry this message. And I'm just paraphrasing for what I have typed here. And so, in my comment uh, viewing this, and as I have here, he was wrapped up in all of these things that I make mention of here: spiritual, moral, human perfection, etc., etc. So now, if someone need to go ahead and give some more comments on that, please do so. Anyone? Okay, we'll move on. Now, because I'm not looking at the screen to see if there's a hand up. I don't have that up because it's blocked what I'm trying to read here.
Listen, my son.
So go ahead, brother. The brother that gave the greetings, go ahead. Okay, we'll go on. The next verse, Allah tells him to stand at night. Do a little of it. Do a little of it. Now, from some studies, some research on sleep, it says here the effects of sleep deprivation on your body. Not getting enough sleep drains your mental abilities and puts your physical health at risk. Science has linked inadequate slumber with a number of health problems, including weight gain, the central nervous system, immune system, respiratory system, digestive system, cardiovascular system, and endocrine system uh, can all be affected. And I got this from Healthline and everything. Then God say, let me go back here. Okay. And he say, half or lessen or little of it. So another report says, an occasional night without sleep makes you feel tired and irritable the next day, but it won't harm your health. If it continues, lack of sleep can affect your overall health and make you prone to serious medical conditions such as obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. A study done by RAND Europe estimated that sleep deprivation costs the U.S. economy up to $411 billion annually. So somebody getting paid in a business that deal with sleep deprivation. Next verse. So God tell us here that the recitation of the study. I like to look at this word what till as study and research. When you look into it beyond the translated word, it also point to you to do some studying. Not you. We don't want to just read. We want to research and study the Quran. And if you can find out how and where is used that in every place in the Quran, because see, the Quran is the best dictionary for the Quran. Best dictionary for Quran is the Quran itself. And then he tell us there's a method. There's a method to reciting the Quran too. And we know it's not singing, it's not yelling, and sound and pronunciation also give the express meaning of those words too. So, and study the Quran. And then Allah say, soon we're going to bring upon you a heavy word, a heavy word that's balanced coming out. And then he tell him, the rising by the night is very potent for governing and most suitable for framing the word. And when he having parentheses of prayer and praise, very suitable. Now, the next verse is the one we're gonna focus that we addressing more so in the material aspect of it. He say, inna laka, inna laka, inna laka, truly for you. It's talking to us too, because we the you now. Fi in fin nahari and nahari. That's the day. Subhin, subhin, and they translate it occupation. But it's some of my business too, because that's some people occupation, their business. And then you look here, thol willing, and they translate it prolong. Right here, subhen, that's a that's a noun. And so is the willing, that's a noun. It's talking about a business that will bring you wealth. Subhen, occupation, work, chain of business. And then we have here if you look there on the left, showing Saudi Aramco, the most profitable company in the world based on recent data. In 2024, they generated profits exceeding 208 billion. This Saudi Arabian oil giant. And I chose this particularly. Now, they over there where our prophet, present peace of God be upon him, was from. And they are living up to this. Then we have here Apple, their profits 184 billion, Microsoft 181 billion. And so just some brief definitions here, plenty of work, plenty of wealth, and abundance of material means. Anyone have any comments before we go on? Please do. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm on the right one. So Imam Wandi Muhammad, may Allah be pleased with him, says, Allah tells the prophet, he says, stand to prayer by night, but not all night, half or a little less. Truly, the rising by night is most potent for governing the soul and most suitable for framing the word. True, theirs by day, prolonged occupation with ordinary duties. We learn from this verse that God is telling the prophet, prayers and peace of God be upon him, not to spend much time in prayer at night, that he would be too tired to carry out his duties during to the community during the day. Comments? And here there's just the definitions from the dictionary of the Holy Quran on what that word sabaha means as a verb. And when we say subhanallah, that's the verb form, but here this is noun form for business, etc., etc. And and we see the noun form of talla. And just some brief history on our prophet, prayers and peace of God be upon him. He went with his uncle at the age of 12. That's his uncle Abu Talib to Syria on a trade mission. Reportedly, he and I have here on a goat sheep herding business because he maintained that for people. And we know he was employed by Lady Khadijah, may Allah be pleased with her, and who later became his wife, and he made her company more profits. And we don't have to go through that again. I already gave those meanings of that word. Uh, so God tell him, but keep in remembrance the name of your Lord and devote yourself wholeheartedly to him. And this is all we have to be doing when we out doing business. Just keep God in remembrance and be devoted to him. Now, here, I'm just going, if you go to the bold print, this is some commentary that the people translated subhand. Ibn Abbas translated it. Ibn Abbas, Ikra, and Atta bin Abi Muslim said it means leisure time and sleep. Other ones said, it's a list of them here, and I won't read them all, said it means a long amount of leisure and leisure aspirations and activities. Uh, Another person, commentary on it, said it means for your need. So you got all these people out there giving their commentary on what that word means, subhand. And I can't accept most of them and everything. So we don't need to have no leisure time. We know our prophet, and I think I have it here somewhere. It might not be on this one right here. It's not. It's not. So that would conclude that. This is just from a conversation I had with someone um, concerning. They was on the Mississippi Gulf Coast in these jamats, and he responded to my question when I asked him what type of business that he was in. He said, "You can't talk about business in the masjid." So I didn't. I'm not going to elaborate on that too much, but I wasn't satisfied with what he said. So, but that's just their thinking, and we got a book that tell us that we can discuss business as often as we know we can. Any comments or corrections? If something I said that wasn't correct, let's have this feedback and discussion. That's why we are here. So please go ahead while I go to our next one, next screen. Okay, this one here is what we I want to revere it. I want to revere it again. We did look at this last week, how to come up with the right business name or a business name, um, and this might spark you to have some more ideas for yourself. I'm trying to keep it in connection to the one that will come following it. Okay, how to come up with the right business name. Ways to come up with a business name. Starting a new business takes energy, passion, and courage. You've written your business plan, or at least the one-page version of the business canvas. You've talked to some potential clients and other business owners in a similar field, and you're ready to go for it. What is the only thing missing? A name. In this presentation, we'll inspire you with 20 ways to come up with a business name. The choices to select from. And take note, this just again, some choices that was recommended from the source that I got this article from. That's not this. None of this is binding to any of us. So they are recommending the use of acronyms, mashups, inspirations from mythology and literature, foreign words, looking at a map, use your name with a location, partner with another company, leverage nicknames, use a symbol, make it descriptive, use a foreign language, look at your product from another angle, abbreviate, make a grammar mistake on purpose, invent an alternate spelling, tell your story, talk about what you believe in, remove or add an extra letter, pick a word from the dictionary. So, a good business name can make your customers remember you easily. It could mean free publicity, or it could help you and your future employees to remember why you are doing what you are doing. There are specialized naming companies that charge thousands of dollars for finding a name that's new, trendy, industry wise, memorable, and isn't trademarked. However, if you are starting a business, you might have other priorities in a budget that doesn't allow you to spend that money on a name. In this presentation, we're going to give you a few ideas on how to name your business by looking at some of the most well-known brands from around the world. And again, emphasis was put on the most well-known brands that they selected from, okay? So the examples are the use of acronyms. And they're given the example of AOL, which is America Online, BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, BENQ, bringing enjoyment and quality to life. Mashups, that is the mix two or more words that are meaningful for you in your business. The examples used are compact, from computer in pack, Evernote, from forever in note, Groupon, from group and coupon, Lego, from the Danish leg god, which means to play well. And I don't know about you all, but I love playing with the Legos, and I've been thinking about give me one now, and everything. Now, Number three, do anyone have any? We can stop and take some comments now before we go on. Anyone? Okay. Number three, get inspiration from mythology and literature. And the examples given here is Asus from, that's ASUS, from the mythical winged horse Pegasus. Nike, the goddess of victory. And then we have an example, Samsonite, from the Bible character Samson. Then Starbucks, from Starbuck, the young chief mate of Picard in the novel Moby Dick. Number four, use of foreign words. The examples are Audi, the Latin translation of the German name, horse. Altavisa, Spanish for high view. Adewu, great house in Korean. Number five example is the use of your own name, the use of your name. The examples given is Bear. Frederick Bear was the founder of the company, and that's talking about the Bear aspirins, I assume. Bowen, after William E. Bowen. Grundig, after the founder Max Grundig. Cadillac, after the French explorer Antoine Lamotte de la Motte Seigneur de Cadillac. Any comments? I'm not looking at the to see if any hands up. Okay, we'll go on. We can take a look at a map, like the persons of Adobe did after the Adobe Creek running close to the founder's house. Amazon, named after the largest river in the world by volume of water. Fuji, named after the highest mountain in Japan. Then here's one of mixing things up. This number 7. You're looking for a new name for your business. It's how to name that. DKNY, Donna Karen, New York. And IKEA, from the founder's name, Ingvar Kamprad, and where he grew up, Eltrod and Gunard. And I'm probably mispronouncing that, but you see here how it's spelled. Partner with another company. If you're going to partner with another entrepreneur or merge your company, and I added entrepreneur there for a reason, or merge your company with another one, instead of a completely new name, make up a name using fragments from both names. And they give you an example here. Ben and Jerry's, 20th Century Fox, because 20th Century was separate at one time, and so was Fox. Nicknames, this is number 10. Using your kids' names or nicknames might sound a little strange, but look at companies like Mercedes, named after the daughter of one of the founders. And Dion, this is a Dayon, no, this is a Dayon, named after the founder's son, childhood nickname. They don't sound strange anymore, do they? The use of a symbol. Another way to come up with a business name is to take a symbol or an essential element of your work and create a new name starting from that word. Pixar, for example, is a combination of the word pixel and the initials of one of its founders, Avi Ray Smith. And one of the foremost is it's not, I don't think it's here on our screen. Oh yes, we have some more. And one of the most famous fast food restaurants, if you just look at that ladder that they have in the name of their business, you can see it for miles. Just that you know what type of fast food restaurant it is, because it's been around such a long time. We know what you know. That's who they are. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got this is the next. We got five. This five and five more. Make it descriptive. If you think of your business, what is the one word or pair of words that could describe what the business does best? Now write all your options on a piece of paper and visualize your new logo or a banner with your new name on it. An example of a brand using this technique is the supermarket chain, and they mentioned the chain 7-Eleven, where the name tells you straight away what's special about this business. It's open from 7 in the morning to 11 at night every day. You can use Latin. Latin is a great source for business names. Take example, Acer, Latin for sharp of able. Volvo, Latin for I rode. Two of the most well-known and easy to remember names. You could also use a Latin word as a start for a new name and add another word to it, like Verizon, from the Latin veritas, which means truth in horizon. Look at your product from another angle. Does your product remind you of something else? Look at it from different angles or ask your friends and family to tell you what your product looks like. BlackBerry and Caterpillar are just two examples of names created using this technique. Abbreviate. Take a word that has a strong meaning for you or your business and extract a short art of it, just like Cisco from San Francisco, where the company was founded, did. Make a grammar mistake. This way of coming up with a new name could be a bit risky, so do consider the possibility of spelling the next 5 or 10 next spending the next 5 or 10 years listening to people correcting your brand name. Cora, for example, could be seen as a fake plural of the Latin quorum, public assembly. In the last five, invent an alternate spelling. Take a word that's symbolic or essential for your company and invent a new spelling for it, like Reebok, alternate spelling of Reebok, an African antelope. Tell your story. Does your new business have a great story behind it? Why not tell it with your business names such as Kinvilo? Unable to decide on a name, the company was called Kinvilo, yes, endo in Hebrew, if I pronounce that correctly. Virgin, the founder's way of saying they were completely new to business. And Mozilla, created as the Mosaic in internet browser killer, were born the same way. Talk about what you believe in. If you don't like the story idea, you could use the name as a way to remind yourself and anyone who works with you about what you believe in and why you're doing what you are doing. Minota, for example, means your principle, what you believe in. Number 19, remove or add an extra letter. What if you really what if you have a really good name for your business, but can't use it as it is? Why not do as Flickr and Tumblr did and drop the last vowel? You could also duplicate another letter or change a letter in your word in a way that still makes the word recognizable. Pick a word from the dictionary. And by the time you read through this list with a pen and pad in your hand, you still don't feel inspired, then you could do like Blizzard and Twitter did and just pick a random word from a dictionary. And that concludes that presentation. Do we have any hands up? Anyone? While we go to our next presentation. Okay. Now we will be looking at choosing your business entity or structure, however one choose to call it. This is the legal registration when you're getting ready to legally register your business entity or set up your business structure, be it with the Secretary of State's office, Department of Commerce, um, and I'm just using that language due to the fact that not all uh, of your state government entities use the Secretary of State's office. Some use like the Department of Commerce or something like that, and we can show you those if you need to know which ones that do not. I say do not use the Secretary of State's office because at least 3/4 or more of the states use the Secretary of State's office to register a business. And we have them here to show you. So the Entrepreneurs and Development Institute is pleased to assist you in starting your business. What may seem like a daunting task may be accomplished with relative ease. Once you have chosen the type of business name which best fits your needs, it is important to consider all the possibilities when choosing your business structure. Business may be conducted in the 50 states using different types of entities, which may require registration with the designated state agency. Each has advantages and disadvantages. When choosing how you want to operate your business, it is important to keep in mind how many owners you have, the relationship amongst the co owners, the ability to sell your ownership interests, liability for taxes and business debts, record keeping requirements. Now, note the following information is for educational purposes only. Observers should consult with an attorney or CPA to determine the appropriate type of entity before setting up your business. So, what Tariq Abdul Mu'min is saying, this is not my training, my specialty, or my know-how. I'm just I just gather information to present to you in this format. So please reach out to the necessary uh, qualified in or licensed people based on if that where they reside at, state or county or city or whatever require them to have the necessary certification or license. Now, the entities that we will be uh, 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 looking at are cooperatives, profit corporation, nonprofit corporation, general partnerships, mainly known GP, limited partnership, LP, limited liability company, LLC, family limited partnership, FLP, limited liability partnership, LLP, limited liability limited partnership, LLLP, excuse me, professional limited liability partnership, PLLP. Cooperative, aka cooperative co-op or COP, is an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through a jointly owned enterprise. Cooperatives are democratically owned by their members, with each member having one vote in electing the board of directors. Cooperatives may include businesses owned and managed by the people who use their services, a consumer cooperative. Organizations managed by the people who work there, worker cooperatives. Multi-stakeholder or hybrid cooperatives that share ownership between different stakeholder groups. Second and third tier cooperatives whose members are other cooperatives. Platform cooperatives that use a cooperatively owned and governed website, mobile app, or a protocol to facilitate the sale of goods and services. Do we need to go back or keep going forward? Okay, we'll go forward. Profit corporations. A corporation generally does mean an organization seeking profit. However, it has both modern forms and is also to some other types of organization as seen below. B corporation. A number of for-profit corporations have opted to gain this status. Most get this certificate in order to show their concern for the society. A benefit corporation does aim to gain profit, but also believes in playing a role for the society in terms of considering the environment or the society when crafting its policies. Their status is actually issued by a nonprofit organization called B Labs. They are accepted as legal entities in several states of the United States. Nonprofit corporations is any legal entity which has been incorporated under the laws of a jurisdiction for the purposes other than making profits for its owners or shareholders, depending on the laws of the jurisdiction. A nonprofit corporation may seek official recognition as such and may be taxed differently from for-profit corporations and treated differently in other ways. Public benefit nonprofit corporations chartered by a state government and organized primarily or exclusively for social, educational, recreational, or charitable purposes by like-minded citizens. Religious cooperation is organized to promote religious purposes. They are formed by filing articles of incorporations by the state. They need to have the standard tax exempt language the IRS requires. Just pardon me for a brief moment. My throat is dry here. Okay. Mutual benefit nonprofit corporation is a type of nonprofit chartered by a state government that exists to serve its members in ways other than obtaining and distributing profits to them. Therefore, it can't obtain IRS 501c3 nonprofit status as a charitable organization. And I just want to add that I can't guarantee if any of this still exists because they're always making changes, the IRS. So again, you need to get with that tax preparer or that CPA or whoever have the know-how or call the IRS to confirm this information because it's changed. It could have changed, and you all know how many changes they have bought about recently. Okay, so just follow up on this outside of this. General partnership, GP. The basic form of partnership under common law is in most countries an association of persons or an unincorporated company with the following major features: must be created by agreement, proof of existence, and estoppel, the going back on his or her word. Formed by two or more persons, the owners are jointly and severally liable for any legal actions and debts the company may face, unless otherwise provided by law or in the agreement. It is a partnership in which partners share equally in both responsible in both responsibility and liability. Limited partnership, LP. This business entity is a partnership with two levels of partnership: general partners and limited partners. A general partner makes the business decisions and controls the business. The limited partner has a stake in the company, usually through investments of capital, but has limited control over business decisions. The general partners are personally liable for the debts and obligations of the partnership. Limited partners are only liable to the extent of their investment in the company. Earnings for all partners are generally taxed as personal income. Limited Liability Company, LLC, is the U.S. specific form of a private limited company. It is a business structure that can combine the pass-through taxation of a partnership or sole proprietorship with the limited liability of a corporation. It is a legal form of a company that provides limited liability to its owners in many jurisdictions. LLCs offer flexibility to business owners. An LLC is a hybrid legal entity having certain characteristics of both a corporation and a partnership or sole proprietorship, depending on how many owners there are. As a business entity, an LLC is often more flexible than a corporation and may well be suited for companies with a single owner. Family limited partnerships are frequently used to move wealth from one generation to another. Partners are general partners, that's GP, or limited partners, LP. One or more general partners are responsible for managing the FLP, but typically lack two net worth rights, control, and marketability. Limited partners have no ability to control, direct, or otherwise influence the operations of the FLP. They can neither buy additional assets nor sell existing assets, and they cannot act on the partnership's behalf. They also substantially lack the ability to sell their interests, with one typical exception: transfers to immediate family members, spouse, siblings, and direct lineal descendants and ascendants. FLPs are partnerships limited to family members, hence the name. And I might add that you do need to check because see, some or all of them, all of these we're showing may or may not exist in your state. And I said that because the state of Mississippi, unless they changed it, You cannot register a FLP, a family limited partnership, in the state of Mississippi. So you have to check your state entity where you register your business at. Limited liability partnership is a partnership in which some or all partners, depending on jurisdiction, have limited liabilities. It therefore can exhibit elements of partnerships and corporations. In an LLP, each partner is not responsible or liable for another partner's misconduct or negligence. An LLP also contain a different level of tax liability from that of a corporation. Limited liability, limited partnership, LLLP, is a relatively new modification of the limited partnership. The LLLP form of business entity is recognized under United States commercial law. An LLLP is a limited partnership, and it consists of one or more general partners who are liable for the obligations of the entity, as well as are more protected limited liability partners. Typically, general partners manage the LLLP, while the limited partner's interest is purely financial. Thus, the most common use of limited partnerships is for purposes of investment. Professional limited liability partnership is a business structure that's designed for licensing professionals such as accountants, lawyers, and doctors. Typically, professions who require a professional license. Some states do not allow licensed professionals to form an LLC since they don't want them to escape personal responsibility for professional malpractice by hiding behind the personal liability protection of an LLC. Instead, they allow professionals to form an LLC, but specific rules vary by state. They differ from LLCs in that only a license holder, doctor, lawyer, others may register the company. And there may be limitations on ownership. Some states require all of the members to have the specific license for the service offered, while in others it may be as low as 50% professional ownership. In all states that require PLLC's notification and approval of state regulatory board for that profession must be obtained. For instance, a physician partnering with other doctors in a PLLC would have to get approval from the state medical board before filing with the Secretary of State. And then that concludes those entities. But foremost and first, you need to go to the IRS website to if you are, I'm just gonna say if you're doing LLC, and I use that because I have a entity that's an LLC um, uh, called Adams Enterprises, um, and you can just go to their site, and you need to get this form here, SS4. You can either do it online, which it would be more readily gotten once you go online to register your business. Just briefly, your legal name of the entity, trade name, executor, mailing address, street address, city, state, county, in the state, name of the responsible party, your SS your social security number, EIN, and see, once you do this online, you will get that EIN number right away. Right away. Now you can download this and fill it out and mail it in. You just taking a little longer. I do know they used to allow you to call it in because I have done that for several people in times gone by. Told them how to do it, and you get that EIN number through that phone conversation. And but again, you can do this online. That is the front page, and I think is the most. You might want to check. This was revised December 2023. So you might want to again go to their website and see which one you want to use. But what I would recommend is to go download it anyway and have it already completed if you're going to call it in, if they still allow that. Or download it and fill it out and then go back online and put your information in. And then you can save time that way, and you will have familiarized yourself with the form. This is it comes with it when you download it. Do I need an EIN? And there's a number you can call. I do know that I used to call the office in Memphis, Tennessee, when I was helping people do it and everything. So I don't even know if that office exists anymore. It could be somewhere else. So they will either have that on their site where you can call and get more information. But this come with it, and that's it. Um, Again, I have here obtaining a 501c3 tax exempt status if a nonprofit corporation is organized exclusively for charitable, religious, or educational purpose. It may also qualify for federal tax exempt status under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. And there's other designations for nonprofits, C4, et cetera, et cetera. But again, that's where you need to get the certified in or licenses help from people, again, attorney or CPA, or you can probably get some general information from someone there at the irs.gov location by calling them. And other registration, if you're looking at getting employment insurance, Department of Security, and remember, you want to get some professional advice and legal advice. So that concludes this one. And again, take note that the information presented is for educational purposes only. You, as an observer, should consult with an attorney or CPA to determine the appropriate type of entity before setting up your business. Any feedback, questions, or do we need to go back over anything? Let's do that at this time here. The floor is open. Oh, okay. Well, let me switch to this other slide then. Thank you. I do have one more. I couldn't have done that well. You got to have some comments or some questions on the slide. Okay, where are we? Okay, this slide here um, is where to register a business in your state. It's in alphabetical order. It's in alphabetical order. Alabama is the first state. And this shows, um, excuse me, again, now it could be some revisions or some changes made to the type of entities that exist in Alabama. Okay. But at the time that I gathered this information, they did nonprofits, for profits, limited liability, limited partnerships, limited liability registered limited liability partnership. See, I didn't catch that. It got RLLP. So that's that one don't exist in Mississippi, my last time checking. So that's something. Okay, now the limited liability partnership. This is Alabama, and it's the Secretary of State where you do this at. Alaska, it's the C. Now it's the Department of Commerce. See, they're not using the Secretary of State's office unless they change that now. Because some states, their states have a Department of Commerce and a Department of Treasury, and but this particular state, Alaska, used the Department of Commerce. So they do most of the entities that we discussed. They have one on here. Here you see it as COOP, electric and telephone, the different entities. Arizona Corporation Commission. So it's different. It's not the Secretary of State's office. So it tells you the ones nonprofit, for profit, corporation, limited liability companies. And again, now you have to check. They could have changed, added, or took away. Arkansas used the Secretary of State's office, and you can see the entities that they allow you to set up there. California, Secretary of State's office. You can see this, most of the entities that I presented are you can set up there. Colorado, they use the Department of State or at it's a secretary, which Secretary of State. I didn't pay attention to where their website is, but they call it the Colorado Department of State. And they have something called a limited partnership association. Okay. Connecticut, Secretary of State, and they're giving you not email, website. Some of the same things we already presented. Delaware, Division of Corporations. Florida, Division of Corporation. And basically, they have something here called a proprietorship. That's PS. Georgia, Secretary of State. Hawaii, Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Business Registration Division. Idaho, Secretary of State's Office. Illinois, Secretary of State's Office. Now, I don't know if this person's still the Secretary of State here, but at the time I put this together, he was. And make sure I didn't go too quick. Okay. Indiana Secretary of State's Office. And they also have the Registered Limited Liability Partnership, RLLP. Iowa Secretary of State's Office. They have something called Domestic Professional Limited Liability Company. They have something called a Cooperative Association Incorporation. So we see some differences here compared to some other states. Kansas, Secretary of State's Office. Kentucky, Secretary of State's Office. And they also I didn't make mention of it that is showing that the best place of cities to open a business at in these states too. Louisiana, Secretary of State's Office. They have something called domestic and foreign partnership and foreign corporation, foreign limited liability company, trade names, trademark service. Your state, I might not have it shown on your state, but check and see if some of these that's shown here or in the other ones exist. Maine, Department of Secretary of State. Maryland, Maryland Department of Assessment and Taxation. Massachusetts, Secretary of Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I have something on here called voluntary association and certain trusts, trademarks and service marks, UCC, Michigan, Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, where you have to go. Minnesota, your Secretary of State. Mississippi, Secretary of State. Missouri, Secretary of State. Montana, Secretary of State. Nebraska, Secretary of State. Nevada, Secretary of State. New Hampshire, same thing, Secretary of State. And I'm seeing something here, they have consumer co-ops. New Jersey, State of New Jersey, and they're showing the entities. New Mexico, Secretary of State. Again, the majority of them use the Secretary of State. They have some here, foreign business trusts and other business entities. New York, Department of State. North Carolina, Secretary of State. North Dakota, Secretary of State. Ohio, Secretary of State. Oklahoma, the same. Oregon, the same. And at the time I put this together, they're just showing two entities, the nonprofit and for-profit corporations. Pennsylvania, the Department of State. Rhode Island, Department of State. South Carolina, Secretary. South Dakota, Secretary of State. Tennessee, Secretary of State. Texas, the same. Utah, the same. Vermont, Secretary of State. Virginia, State Corporation Commission, State Corporation Commission. They do business trust. Washington, Secretary of State. West Virginia, Secretary of State. Wisconsin, Department of Financial Institutions. Wyoming, the Secretary of State. And this is the 14, I think it's 14. Yeah, it's 14 of them, what it was. They use a different department, which is Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Virginia, and Wisconsin use a different entity. So is there any comments, questions, or we need to go back over any of these? If not, that has concluded this week's presentation. So we can open the floor up for a brief discussion. Go ahead. If anyone have any comments or questions or anything, this is your time to do so. Does anyone have any questions, answers, corrections? Please do so. Manira?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Well, we're not getting
You
any
you, you
feedback.
have you have
We got
I
a
saw
hand up.
Sister Rashida. I
Rashida,
saw
go
her.
ahead. The mic was open.
Assalamu alaikum. I didn't want to make a comment, but I will make a comment, but I didn't do that to make a comment. But one of the questions about the entity of corporation, there's, you say, I think you mentioned the LLC and the GP and the general partnership. I think in getting into the business of what one decides to do in the business, in my history of having a business and incorporating, please study what entity you're going to get in and the liabilities of it. Because if you get into a sole proprietorship, you are responsible for everything, and the liability is open. And so study, if you can, study the different C corporation, S corporation, LLC, a limited partnership, all that he was offering us. As we incorporate, we have to know what we're doing. So, and thank you, Imam Tariq, because you're giving so much information, but in getting this information, we really have to study this business plan and the intention of the business plan, even to the point, as you said earlier, of naming your business. Why would you name your business what you name your business? Because it's going to give an impression of the ideal of what you represent. So just as you go into the business, we're going to have to continue to study and really understand why are we going into business, what are we doing, and how do we network with other people who are into the same kind of business. And I just wanted to share that. I'll stop there. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Come on in.
Brother Edward.
Where you going?
Edward.
So I was kind of listening to that other conversation that was going on. It was kind of interesting there for a second. Talk a little bit about doing business in multiple states. There's been a lot of rulings lately about people who are in different types of retail business, especially mail order, about selling products across multiple states and tax collection in those states, registering your business and setting your business up to pay those taxes. And I'm not talking about income taxes, but sales taxes. What are your recommendations or modeling on taking care of that and making sure that you're compliant?
Well, I'm gonna have to yield to that because I don't have this is new information to me, so I can't speak to it. If you can speak to it,
well, I don't really in my business, because of the type of business I'm in, I don't really deal with products very much where there would be sales tax collection. But I was wondering, like in one of your primary businesses in the suit sales, when you sell those suits to someone in, say, New York State, do you have a service that you use that collects the full payment, makes sure that New York State gets their sales tax, and then passes on the difference to you? Is that already set up?
That's the reason I'm saying I can't speak to it, because what you making and mentioning of, it's new information to me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering, and maybe there's some other people online who are in business.
Because I never heard of that. And I think the person that I would say we do this as business partners, and he never mentioned it to me,
Okay.
and everything. So again, like I said initially, I don't have information on that because again, it's new. I never had even heard of it until you mentioned it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Kalita?
Yeah. Wait a minute, Kim. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. And inshallah, you can research that question and get back to us next week, because that is something that people are moving about and relocating and migrating that will be helpful. Thank you for everything you presented today. Assalamu alaikum.
You're most welcome. And I know she said I can research it, but I'm inviting all of us to research it. Go ahead. I can't. Hold. Let me put my glasses on and see the number. I said the uh the area code is 314. It's not a name up here. Go ahead. The 314 area code. Please go ahead. The person who has the area code
Yes, there
314.
I am. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Tariq.
Walaikum assalam. Who are we
Mark
speaking with?
Mark Shahid.
Oh, hey, I sound like Mark. Go ahead, my
Yes,
brother.
yes, I just, I've been remiss if I didn't come on to commend you for this production, just all together each and every week, how you convey good, beneficial information in regards to business. It has to be a help, especially for those that's in business or are being inspired to go into business. It's going to help them and maybe help those who may be struggling in business. I look at those three categories, and most certainly your presentations help anybody that is going to be going into business or in business and maybe struggling in it to help to improve the business and all. And even in terms of the various names, that we hear, knowing that they have significance and meaning to them, and how you actually can select names that would be intriguing, where people would want to actually know more about your business. And I do agree that when questions are conveyed, then it becomes the responsibility of all that want to know. Allah gave us that inquiring nature to want to know. There becomes a responsibility, anybody that wants the answer or to get more information, to actually do the research and bring it back, to this program, this production that you give. So once again, thank you so much, Imam Tariq. And oftentimes I don't have anything to say. I just listen. So thank you. May Allah continue to bless you and us.
Thank
Assalamu
you. Thank
alaikum.
you. Well, and yeah, and thank you. Walaikum assalam. And again, that's why on the piece I showed concerning registering your business with the designated entity in your state, I gave that disclaimer because I'm not a certified or licensed CPA or tax preparer or any of those things. And so you have to go to those persons to get that information on the legal end of all of those designations, et cetera, in your given city, county, or state. Because again, this is just an educational, informational piece. So
Yes, sir.
I'm limited I'm limited to only what I'm presenting because
Yes,
it's
sir.
an informational piece. And from my self-research, self-study, and as you seen earlier, I had something, I wouldn't say, I had another addition from some comments from Imam Muhammad because I recently came across that information, and anything that I get where he's addressing business, I'm gonna add it to my presentation somewhere of what he said because that's the whole idea of it, to keep it connected like that. So I say again, reach out to the qualified, certified, licensed persons when it comes to taxes, registration, et cetera, et cetera. Because I'm not trained in that. I'm not educated in that. I don't have the credentials to do that, to none of that. Rashida, your hand is back up. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to, alhamdulillah, I just wanted to reiterate what you just said. You already said it. And I know the brother, I think it was Brother Edward who made a comment. I was trying to mute myself, but in my family, they got into the do for self. My daughter-in-law, she does taxes. My son, he's a contractor, and she was leaving, and I was asking her where she was going. But it's what you're saying is so important to you need an attorney and you need an accountant, and you got to have a business plan and a strategy for your sense of purpose of going into business in the beginning. So you know, we have to emphasize, uh, what am I doing this for? You know, even you know you want profit, but at the same time, you got to be ever so conscious of your sense of purpose of your environment, your demographics, and everything. But get that attorney and get that accountant so they will help guide you to the Secretary of State, like you say here in Louisiana. We have to go to the Secretary of State. And so go on and put your ducks in a row to do that, and begin to start a budget, and then get online and whatever your products are, you know, if you're selling dashikis, anything, whatever, see who else is selling dashiki and see how you can get it in a bulk, or see who, and network. And then in our community, you know, like, you know, if someone's selling suits, and in our community, as we network, and I'll wrap it up, and I start selling suits, I need to know who else is selling suits so we can exchange ideals, or maybe able to empower each other, or go into a gross bulk distribution. And so it's so much how to grow it when you're going into the business. I was into sales myself. I had my own little flea market business, but I made sometime $1,000 on the weekend, believe it or not. And then sometime I didn't make anything. So, and I work with wholesale companies. So you want to go and get your license so you'll be able to purchase wholesale products and get it in bulk. So I'll stop there, but I'm excited that you share this with us, this information, and I thank you so much. And may all of us learn from, you know, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Alhamdulillah.
Panera?
Yes, and it's gonna come down to an accounting issue. When we do our own income tax, you'll have questions on there. Did you earn money in another state, and things of that nature? In business, you're gonna be asked, did you collect taxes for another state, and things of that nature. So it's gonna be an accounting issue. So records have to be kept clear. Um, and you have to be knowledgeable of the tools you need for the taxes in other states and what their taxing rates are. So you're charging the appropriate amount of taxes. And a lot of this is all digital now, as well, where you can um, do that type of record keeping. But keeping good records and getting an accountant, as Sister Rashid was saying, to help you with those processes. Okay, so this is something that has been done for years and years and years. So um, it's more prevalent now because uh, selling online and is so popular, where we can cross states easily in selling online. But our records for the accountant at tax time is going to be key. An accountant can tell us how to process. That'll be a part of your accounting. That's how people get into trouble with not reporting taxes properly, um, because of, you know, not following those guidelines. So get the appropriate tools and help that you need in those areas.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, if there's no one else, what we'll do, and just a reminder again, next Saturday, I will not be presenting due to we have a scheduled sectional imams meeting. Um, so I had thought about trying to delay the meeting, but to a later hour, but it's not going to work that way. So I will return, God willing, the first Saturday of February. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatain wa afi akhirati hasanatain wa aqi adaminar. Allah bestow good upon us in this life, bestow good upon us in the life to come, and save us from the torment of the fire. Ameen. Assalamu
Ameen.
alaikum.
Ameen.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah.
And
Okay,
yourself
so
and your family.
that concludes our morning programming for AM 360. Come back and join us um, later today, uh, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Al Islam in Focus with our host, Sister Japrita Abdul Hadi. And then from 6 to 7 p.m., we have CWSC's National Town Hall Straight to the Point with our sister, Sister Martha Nyla Abdullah, okay, who is always presenting information that is thought provoking and challenging as far as our community development. So we appreciate her work and her efforts as we do all the hosts here on AM 360. Okay, so inshallah, we will see you later this evening. Thank you for being here with us this morning. And with that, we will conclude our programming for this Saturday morning. Assalamu alaikum to everyone.